So let's go ahead and break down the goals from the Philadelphia Union vs. Chicago Fire match this Saturday. And the first goal we'll take a look at comes from Cuypers to give Chicago a 1-0 lead in the 3rd minute of added time. And so right here, Damiani loses the ball, and it's just going to be a simple reset from Chicago. Out of the back, Chris Brady goes into Makazi. Makazi just going to go ahead and split the midfield. And you can see the three Union midfielders right there, Alejandro Bedoya, Danley John Jock, and Jesus Bueno. All three of them get taken out of this play by an excellent pass out of the back from Bakazi. And right here, the Union actually have a chance to win this ball back with Jesus Bueno. He gets a touch, you can see. He clearly touches the ball, and it's a little bit unfortunate that it deflects perfectly into Andrew Gutman. Frankie Westfield caught out of position here. And now Gutman can just go ahead and lift his head, and you look on the pause. It's just man marking, 1v1 defending in the box for the Union. Ndinga on Bamba, Makanya on Cuypers. And you think, all right, no trouble. They have this marked. Yes, Frankie Westfield still playing catch-up to Andrew Gutman. When the cross does eventually come in, you're just hoping that your guys can win the 1v1 duel. Cuypers makes this run in between Makanya and Ndinga and rises to that header. Powerful header past Andre Blake to give Chicago the 1-0 lead. And we'll go ahead and pay attention to Makanya here in a bit. A couple things I want to focus on Makanya defensively, specifically him scanning the field, because watching this in real time, I was like, it didn't seem like Makanya was aware at all of where Cuypers was on the field. We'll see it back because Makanya actually is aware of Cuypers twice on this play. And so this is a ball that splits the midfield for the Union by Bakazi. It's unfortunate there for Jesus Brennan, like I said, that it takes a deflection off his foot, falls perfectly to Gutman. But here's the first instance right here. You have Makanya looking inside. He's not worried about the play out wide. He needs to scan inside the field and see where players are inside of him. And so he knows Cuypers is in between him and Ndinga, and now he'll go ahead and face action. Slowing down, and you'll get one more scan. Makanya positions himself well, anticipating a cross. Just wants to have one more look where Cuypers is, seeing, hey, are there any more runners coming inside the box? And so he looks, he's aware. Cuypers late coming into the box, and he's just going to slow down right here, face the ball. Aware, like I said, knows Cuyper is behind him, is anticipating a run, and then he loses track. It's a perfect ball by Gutman, but Makanya just simply loses track. It's a great ball overplayed from him, and it's not like Makanya was unaware where Cuypers was. He was aware. He knew that Cuypers was around him. He looked twice. He just didn't anticipate the run. It's a beautiful time run there by Cuypers into space. Great cross there by Andrew Gutman. Nothing Andrew Blake could do there on the header. And Chicago take a 1-0 lead. So the second goal in this game came courtesy by Milan Iloski to tie this game up in the 7th minute of stoppage time in the first half. And so you're going to see Frankie Westfield take a long throw in here into Alejandro Bedoya, who wins the flick one, and then Iloski just beats Joe Wooderman to that header, rises higher than him, and nothing Chris Brady could do there. Perfect header there from Iloski, but yeah, the Union weren't great throughout this game from open play, but set pieces, I thought they were pretty good. They created their best chances on set pieces on the night, and it is no surprise to see them finally get over the hump in the first half off of a set-piece goal. And so there are a couple things I want to point out before we watch this video again. And it starts right here. It's a throw-in from Frankie Westfield, but what you might not have noticed is Bruno Damiani, number 9, he goes and does a basketball move. He does a post-up to block out the midfielder to allow Alejandro Bedoya just to go ahead and float into that space left behind by Damiani, where Bedoya is going to be 1v1 against Andrew Gutman. And so once Bedoya runs into that space, moves into that space, then Iloski can then go and occupy the space that Bedoya initially set up in. But this play does start with Bruno Damiani, who gets a lot of hate from the fan base for not scoring goals, kind of similar to Mikel Ua. We see Damiani a lot of times this season do little things right that just don't get the appreciation that it deserves, to be frank. And so you can see right here, Damiani, he's blocking out his midfielder right there, not allowing him to go ahead and attack this ball. He's playing a post, and so you see the space that Bedoya goes and falls into, left behind by Damiani, and he just simply wins the header. And because of that, then Iloski can then go and attack that ball. Frankie Westfield has one of the best throw-ins on this team. We know that Kai Wagner, when he was with the club, was excellent at these long throw-ins. I would argue that Frankie Westfield's up there with Kai Wagner, filling the void that Wagner left behind with those long, deadly throw-ins. So the third and final goal in this game comes courtesy by Jonathan Bamba to give Chicago the 2-1 win in the 58th minute. And so you can see Makanya here on the ball for the Union, and gets closed down here, and so the Union reset here with Lukic going into Ndinga. And Ndinga is going to just go ahead and make this inside run. Not going to make an overlapping run, just going to go ahead and run inside between the midfield, through the midfield. Kevin Sullivan is going to see the run, and it is good awareness by Ndinga to attack the space. It's a good pick out here by Kevin Sullivan. Passes it into Ndinga, and he gets closed down, and his touch lets him down really badly. And because of that, the whole play falls apart here for the Union. It's the heavy touch. Union hurt themselves on this play. They lose possession of the ball. And then it just leads to a quick transition from Chicago. And so Chicago going to go ahead and just build out. And the Union have a chance right there with Kevin Sullivan to win that ball back. Kevin's unable to win the ball back. And so the Union's defensive shape, because Ndinga has pushed up, lost the ball, not tracking back here clearly on this play here. And so it leaves the Union exposed out wide. And the ball falls to Cuypers, and Cuypers is going to be so smart on this play. He's just going to wait for Makanya. He knows Makanya is waiting to bounce outside to Robin Lod to shut that down. And so Cuypers going to go ahead and take his time. Makanya still has to play the ball. And so Cuypers just slows it down, is aware, still slows it down. And you can see just Chicago continues to get numbers for it. It's a 5v4 situation here with Robin Lod still wide open, nobody running out wide to close him down. Cuypers waits for Makanya to commit. Ball gets played out wide there. Nothing Makanya can do, gets exposed. On this play, though, you probably want to see Danley John Jock hustle a little bit quicker to close down Robin Lod. Closest player here, yes, Nathan Harriel knows there, but Harriel can't leave Haile Selassie. He's man marking his guy in the box. Frankie Westfield's marking Bamba inside the box. Somebody has to get out there wide. Ndinga is completely taken out of this play. Makanya had to play the ball out of this play. And so Danley John Jocks, the closest guy to go ahead and close this down, does not close it down quick enough. And because of that, it leaves Frankie Westfield in a difficult situation. You see him looking back, checking his shoulder, seeing where Cuypers is. He knows Cuypers was the player who played the ball initially out wide to Lod. And so he's anticipating that run into the box eventually. He knows he has Bamba behind him, but he's looking around, making sure, okay, where's Cuypers? That run's going to come. And so it leaves Frankie Westfield exposed here in a 2v1. He has to pick who he wants to go towards. Thinks it's initially going to Cuypers, but it's a perfect ball played out to the back post to Jonathan Bamba, who does so well there to finish that first time. And yeah, you feel for Frankie Westfield there a little bit. It does everything right. It's with Bamba eventually. And then just waiting for the run by Cuypers. He knows it's coming. Decides, I'm going to go ahead and attack this ball towards Cuypers. I believe the ball is going towards Cuypers, and he's not able to close down Bamba quick enough once it goes over him and Cuypers' head. But again, we're going to see the ball played out wide here. Nothing Makanya can do there. The Union are exposed. And I talked about Danley maybe closing this down a little bit quicker. Nobody tracked the run from Cuypers. You have Makanya, who decides to double mark a guy. He could have followed the run of Cuypers. Kevin Sullivan could have followed the run of Cuypers. Kevin sees everything in front of him. He's watching this play happen. He could run and close down this play, but nobody closes down Cuypers. Nobody closes down Robin Lurd quick enough. And as I mentioned, it leaves Frankie Westfield exposed. Has two guys he has to mark, and it's just a perfect ball in. Great finish. Nothing Frankie, nothing Andre Blake could do on this game winner by Chicago. All right, so we'll go ahead and end the video looking at some chances created by the Union in this game. Like I had mentioned earlier, the Union didn't create a ton of chances from open play in this game. The best chances against Chicago came from set pieces. And so we'll look at two plays, I believe, from open play that the Union couldn't really execute on. And then we'll look at two set piece opportunities for the Union, both in the first half and the second half. So this first one, the Union play a long ball up top from Ndinga. And this one's just going to go ahead and get intercepted by Chicago. And they're just going to try to play out of the back. And what we see from the Union that we haven't seen a lot of, like we saw last season, is the Union turning the opposition over in their own half. Yes, we've seen it at times. Yes, Bradley Cornell even talked about it after the game, that when we do win the ball back within the 18-yard line, we're not getting shots off. That's something we saw the Union do a lot of last season. And so the Union, 6 minutes into this game, they turn Chicago over in their own half with Kevin Sullivan and Danley John Jock winning this ball right here. Double pressure right here. Nowhere to go. Keep the ball in play. Kevin into Damiani, and Damiani into Bedoya. And Bedoya plays a quick pass into Jesus Bueno that I don't think that he was really expecting, but Bedoya plays that pass because he wants to continue his forward run, get numbers for it. But this play, as soon as the Union win the ball, look at the amount of players inside that square. It's Kevin Sullivan, Milan Iloski, and Bruno Damiani. Three attackers occupying the same space doesn't give Bruno Damiani much options to work with. And so he's just going to go ahead and turn and still see, I don't really have many opportunities passing forward. Could he play it out wide to Frankie Westfield to his right? Yeah, Frankie's making that run forward, but he opts for the shot. It's on target, but never was troubling Chris Brady there. And so opportunity number 2 right here, we're going to see the Union just play, again, another ball forward. It's a really good touch there by Iloski and Damiani, who doesn't get his pass forward right. And Iloski's just going to play this out wide. And so the Union go right back inside. But if you look right here, Kevin Sullivan, arms up, wide open, wants the ball. Jesus Bueno, who's inside to the left of Danley John Jock, he could go ahead and potentially pass that ball to Bruno, because if that ball goes into Bruno, somebody's got to step to him, because you're either going to have Kevin Sullivan, who is open on this play, arms up on this. You're either going to have Bruno be able to slot that pass into Kevin Sullivan, or nobody's going to close down Bruno if they go into him, allowing him to get a free shot off. And so going to go into Damiani, who gets his pass wrong. I don't know if that was supposed to be to Jesus Bueno or Kevin Sullivan, but it was just a miss kick there from Damiani. But opportunity number 2, this was 1 of 2 set pieces that I told you guys about. Alejandro Bedoya, who's highlighted here. You're going to see him just rise to this header. We've seen him do this throughout his years with the Union, whether it be on corner kicks or set pieces, making that run towards the near post, usually wins the flick on. And this time, Bedoya does win his header. And unfortunately for him, just hits right off the crossbar. Big opportunity there. And this game could have been different if Bedoya would have converted that and put the Union up 1-0 in the 35th minute. But nonetheless, opportunity wasted. And then the last chance right here, again, another set-piece opportunity. Iloski on the free kick. Going to play this ball towards the back post and eventually falls to Nathan Harriel. Ball falls right there to Harriel. And at this moment, Harriel, we've seen him throughout the season get into a lot of good opportunities. He's had a lot of the Union's best chances just unable to connect with that, and the Union do get a corner, but no goal from this play.